And Development meeting on April the 19th. Councilor
Andy.
Andrew?
I'm here, I'm sorry.
So Councilor Andrews is here. Councilor Gwaltney's
Oh,
here.
I'm here, yes.
Councilor Wilberton?
Here.
Councilor Sims?
Here.
And Councilor Nelms? Here. So all present, you have a quorum.
Okay, first we'll start with the dispense of reading of the minutes and approval.
So moved.
So I got a motion from Councilor Gwaltney and a second from Councilor Nelms. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Old business, update on past, present, and future sidewalk projects. Greg Cobb, 160115. Mr. Pugh, are you in here? I will say that they are finally repairing Lakeshore, my sidewalk. They tore it for the drainage work there. They started that today. I saw that this morning on the way to the high school. So we'll carry that over without objection. Let's see. 300619, request to consider ordinance to govern appearance of small cell antennas. Councilor Britt Thames. Councilor Gwaltney?
Yes, I would like to table this item so that we can spend some time to work on it and make sure we get something good to recommend back to council.
Okay, is that a motion?
Yes, that is a motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Second, I have a motion from Councilor Gwaltney to table the item, and I have a second from Councilor Nelms. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Ms. Salter, we are sending 300619 to the table.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. 130221, public hearing set for May 10th, 2021 at 6 for consideration of changes to the landscaping and tree requirements from Councilors Gwaltney and myself. And we need to send this out tonight without recommendations. Do I have a motion for that?
I would make a motion to send this out prior to the public hearing with no recommendation.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have is this the Gwaltney Nelms show tonight? I have a motion to send out without recommendation from Councilor Gwaltney with a second from Councilor Nelms. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And that was just a regular without recommendation pending public hearing. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And that passes 5-0. Okay, new business 040421. Request for consideration to rezone northern portion 1.9927 acres of 260 Oxmoor Road from a GURD, Green Springs Urban Renewal District, to C5 General Business District. The applicant is Chelsea Payne of Massey, Stotzer, and Nichols to permit the construction of a 3-story storage facility. The Planning Commission had a vote of 9-0 for a favorable recommendation of the rezone. Mr. Pugh, and I know Vicki Smith is here as well.
Vicki can probably speak more thoroughly to this than I can because she's,
And I know the owners are here as well. Is that right? Okay, great.
I wish we had a drawing to show you, but basically, this parcel which the abandoned, the old hotel sits on, they want to divide it into 2 pieces, with the back piece being rezoned to C, it looks like. C5, yeah. To do a climate-controlled, more the interior, open door type storage facility, leaving the front along Oxmoor Retail.
I have my packet, but would that be helpful to get to Brian to put up on the screen?
It would be.
Okay, I'll go get that.
It'll show you the subdivision of the 2 parcels.
Yeah, it's got, if you'll take it to Brian and show him, it's in a manila envelope in my mailbox, and if you'll just pull those out and give Brian, I think it's important for everyone to see what it looks like.
Exactly. There are some renderings in that packet too.
Is it this?
the rezoning does not limit the renderings unless the applicant proffers that.
Well, that was part of our recommendation from the Planning Commission, was that it did.
Substantially comply with the presentation.
That's right. That's correct.
I have a quick question, Vicki. So is the storage, so it's the storage, I mean, the retail is gonna be what's in front along Oxmoor? Correct.
Right, and it would still be zoned GURD.
Okay.
So we actually subdivided the parcel as well, so we resurveyed it into two. So there's C5, which they're proposing to put a sports bar there, and that's the retail portion of that. So.
Tell him he needs to join the meeting.
I was thinking that the storage facility was gonna be on Oxmoor, so this is better.
So yeah, it'll be more like The backside.
The backside, yes.
So did they recommend,
They recommended, they did,
They
didn't
did.
they? They agreed to that.
okay, well, it should be on
Well,
That was part of, that was our, that came with our recommendation.
here.
Well, I told the person from my office that it should be on there. There's a proffer with the other ones.
We've already done a whole mill. No, we haven't done all this ones. We haven't done a public hearing.
We hadn't said,
Okay.
we need it properly.
So we need to get a revised.
Is that, yeah.
I'll get some more to them.
That's what we felt, that the plan,
We can't require that because it's not in our zoning ordinance. They certainly can proffer.
Right. What was the, or the
There was
discussion? not
the
profit?
discussion was that at planning
Planning
commission, that there was a proffer that the rezoned property would be in
Essentially, it's treated as site plan.
Yeah.
substantially comply with the renderings that have been shown.
Was that proper agreed to as part of the recommendation that came to us?
it was.
Apparently so,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we haven't set this for a public hearing, so we can correct that. if
Yeah,
that's-
we had never done it yet on this.
Right.
Yeah, that was our understanding at the planning commission level, was that we couldn't,
That's a good call.
that was the most that we could ask.
Right, and they were agreeable
And they
at
were.
the
So-
podium.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, may I ask a question?
Sure.
So if they're dividing the property, are both parcels going to be C5?
No, the front would be GERD, would remain.
Remain GERD? Okay. And does the packet that they're going to show, or the presentation, show the division of the properties and the lines? Okay.
It does, and I said that backwards, the sports barn would be staying GERD, and I said that backwards, yeah. And the way the parcel is, it's really the corner of GERD, it's not, it's not like it's sitting smack in the middle of, in the corner of, Oxmoor and Green Springs. I mean, it really is the very corner.
It's adjacent to other commercial,
Yeah, it
a
is.
C5 and a
Yep.
C3,
There's
wasn't it?
C3 and a C5 right around it,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
All,
the-
like, literally surrounding it.
No, you can just.
You have another
The,
question?
I do. The gas station that was before us a while back, in their renovations, are they blocking off the entrance to that facility? Because used to, you could turn into the gas station and go back through.
There's still a little drive there. It's only one way, but.
He's sending it to me, Jennifer, and we're just waiting on it. It was too much to try to take pictures, so he's sending me the email file.
Okay,
Just give me,
Sure.
it looks like it's sending now, so just give us another minute here.
Brian, just as a heads up, it's in the archive case packet for the April 6th Planning Commission meeting as well, that we already have online, if you
Oh,
just
okay,
wanna
I
stream
can
it
pull
from
that up fast. April 6th?
Yes.
There you go, that's it.
That was it, Brian?
That one. That's it.
Thank you. Oh, Brian, you
So
just passed it.
if the owners are here. how
Yeah, he's
is-
back here telling me there was a better one, so hang on, I'll go back to that in just a second,
There's a
Vicki.
better drawing of the zoning that's in bright colors, and you can really see.
Gotcha.
So my question was, if the applicant, or the owners are here, who's this applicant? Chelsea Payne Massey? Is this the developer?
It's the attorney,
So this is the attorney, is the applicant?
yeah, that's all.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay. And Brian, do you have a picture of the rendering of the storage facility?
Yeah, I'm waiting on it.
Okay.
One thing at a time. Here it comes. Hang on.
Okay, thank you.
What would be the C5 storage facility is the rear 3-story. The retail GERD section would still have that 1-story retail.
That's the proposed
Yeah, that's.
sports bar. Behind it is the storage unit. Can I ask the owners a question about? And if you'll state your names and address for the record, please.
Ash Patel. Mike Patel, 260 Oxmoor Road.
So at the Planning Commission, part of our recommendation was that the storage unit facility would be substantially similar to the renderings that you've provided so far. Is that something that you are willing to proffer to the council tonight?
Yeah. Is that specifically on the building? I'm assuming you're referring to the corner towers, the 3 corner towers and the parapets and the brackets. Is that what you're referring to as mainly as
The design of it,
Design,
just
yeah.
the, yeah, I mean, it's an upscale storage
Yeah,
unit. It doesn't
absolutely.
look like you told us at the Planning Commission. If
Right,
you want
yeah.
to, if you want to address the council, similar to the way you did the Planning Commission, and bring everyone up to speed if we've missed anything.
Yeah. The 3 corner pieces that we have on the renderings, with the towers, yes, they will look like that, absolutely. On the sides, we're gonna have the windows, but we're still looking to put like hardy board design. There's a lot of modern design aspects that we can do on the sides that we're still working with, as far as the sides. But the 3 corner piece towers right there, yes, they will be there. And the lighting and the windows, but if you see on the base of it, underneath the first set of windows, we don't want to leave that blank. We're gonna put some design accent on that. There's a lot of options out there, and we're still looking into that.
If you're proffering them, we need to have something definite to be able to publish to the public, whatever it is you're proposing.
Yeah, well, it will look like that. We just want to enhance it. There's a lot of options to.
Like with the way you see those, like the wooden brackets and the roof line and everything?
Yeah.
All that stand up like that.
What I'm saying is you're essentially proffering a site development plan that will mirror that development. It'll be
Sure.
attached to the zoning ordinance, and you'll be bound to construct that, or you'll have to come back to the zoning.
Sure.
The only thing is, if you look at the way that retail is developed,
I'm not looking, I don't want to include the retail.
Okay.
Because that's a separate zone.
Right.
Right.
What I need to do is tie the C5 to whatever you're proposing. to
Right, I
develop.
agree.
So give me the picture and whatever information you have that will best detail whatever you're proposing, the site development plan. There you go.
there you go.
Yeah,
But see, the front part is a different zoning classification. It
Right.
doesn't have to be approved, but the back is what I think. is
Gotcha.
concerned.
That's right.
And it-
So would you want a rendering that actually removes the front, just so you see a full version of the storage facility?
Yes.
Because the 2 structures are not gonna be connected.
They're not connected, no.
And they're not.
Yes,
essentially-
they're 2 different parcels now.
Yes, correct.
So we would need a whole rendering of just the storage facility.
Rendering of the storage facility, the C5 development that you're going to.
Sure.
Okay.
But we need that before we can publish it, so
Okay.
if you can get
Tonight?
that to- Well, sure.
Yeah.
It won't be published or won't be approved to a public hearing until Monday night, so if you could just get it to us this week, so we'll have it.
No
When
problem.
they send out notice to the public,
Sure.
we'll send out the
Absolutely.
correct
Okay.
information.
No problem.
And it'd be entitled a site development plan, that you've agreed to develop this site with this facility.
You can either send it to
As I understand
to
it,
Rock
Richard.
here, or you can send it to, this is my
Oh,
email address,
okay.
either way.
Thank you.
You're doing that voluntarily, you're not required to do that.
I'm sorry, say it again?
You're doing that voluntarily, you're not required to do that,
Voluntarily to do.
to build that structure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We want it to look.
We wanted to look like this.
All right?
Okay, any other questions?
I've got a quick
President Wyatt?
question, just because was some question about I wasn't at the planning commission meeting, so just in terms of what you proffered and what you didn't. Was there also a proffer about the use of this parcel? In other words, that it wasn't gonna be, did y'all proffer that you would just do storage? Or that anything in C5 would be available for this property?
Storage. climate controlled,
Class A climate control storage.
all interior.
But I just want to be clear, so y'all proffered that the zoning would be restricted to just storage and not all of C5?
They did not
Because
proffer that. They did not proffer that.
that has not been a proffer
No,
that you've made?
that was on-
No, but
No.
our intention, we've invested our time and money so far at this point to only do what we're developing.
Yeah.
And that's,
I-
we're, you know, so.
I understand. The reason I'm asking is really not about y'all. It's that if you did make that proffer, then that goes with the land, even if you sell it someday. That restriction on the zoning
Or
goes.
until it's rezoned.
Yeah, or until it's rezoned. Someone would have to come back to us to ask for a rezoning for something other than storage
I see what you're saying.
within C5. So that's why I'm asking, because someday if you did sell it, then anyone could build, if you don't make that proffer, anyone can build whatever they want within C5. And that's just a consideration we need to take into account as we look at this issue. So that's why I'm asking, if you did proffer that, that would be a limitation that we would need to consider. If
Yeah.
you're not, then we need to consider it the other way.
And I'm assuming that, I mean, that's a long-term plan for the space, so, I mean,
I understand, but it's not about
Right,
when
right,
they own it. So that's why I want
Sure.
them to tell me whether that was part of the proffer or not.
So, obviously, the main reasoning for the rezoning is to develop this asset, and there's no room for anything else but this.
So the use be limited to Class A storage facility and construct that rendering that you're gonna attach to it. Is this all part of site development?
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, once everything gets the permitting process, everything gets fulfilled, then there's, no issues with that.
You can just send me that rendering.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
I'm still unclear as to whether that was actually proffered or not in terms of maintaining it only a storage facility.
That's what I heard him say.
That was
I'm
what
just-
I understood that the proffer was, that the,
That's what I'm gonna put in the ordinance.
yeah.
That's why I'm
right.
just double checking that
Based
they're
on
aware
that
of
ordinance.
what
Now,
they're exactly,
if
their
you
op,
don't
their
want me
proffer.
to do that, you have to tell me now.
I mean,
I was clear until I was still confused on what you were
You
mentioning.
all voluntarily proffered the use would be limited to Class A climate controlled storage and to build that rendering.
Up until we get the permit to the building.
Well,
We want
it's
to,
zoning, the permit comes in.
yeah, we just want to make sure that there would be, there's no hiccups with the permitting process. Because our intentions are to demolish this building as soon as we get the rezoning.
The permitting is part
Right, I
of the
understand.
construction. All you're saying is you're gonna construct this
Mhm.
based on this plan that you presented tonight.
Mhm.
Permitting has.
can I ask a quick question? I mean, based on what they've presented, there shouldn't be an issue with any permitting
It'd be rezoned for that.
once it's rezoned, correct?
Right.
There shouldn't be any
Well,
issue with
yeah,
that, correct?
We don't do permitting,
Right,
so
right.
I don't,
Permitting has nothing to do with zoning.
I can't
No,
tell
I
you that one way or
understand.
the
I
other.
understand.
But I mean, it would be an allowed use given the rezoning, and there's,
Sure, the use would, which is all we can deal with. The permitting is the fourth floor, but
That's the construction.
but
You gotta build it based on the building code. That's right.
yes, it would fall within the zoning that y'all are asking for with, and assuming that we're hearing you correctly, and you're making a proffer for that rendering and to limit the use within C5 to Class A storage, that should take care of the zoning issue if it passes. Permitting obviously depends
Right.
on a lot of other issues that we don't deal with, so I don't think we can speak to that.
But the use that you're proposing would be a permitted use, so that it can be permitted if you meet the building code requirements.
Yep, the main purpose, the main purpose for the rezoning is to develop the climate
Okay.
control self-storage.
That's really all.
Yeah.
Counselor Jones?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, just one more time, as you know, we've had lots of meetings, and I expressed my opinion about it. You really don't see any other use for this property other than a storage unit for that particular piece of property we're talking about?
It's currently zoned for a hotel, okay? And pre-COVID, that probably would have made a little bit more sense along with, but unfortunately at this time, with also, given the fact that you have already a number of hotels on that exit and the next one, this is the best. This is the most ideal redevelopment plan for that site.
Yeah, with the low impact on traffic, it allows us to be able to use that front portion for the retail.
Okay, I would just be remiss if I didn't ask you that, because I'm trying to get excited. I really am. I'm not excited, but I just want to ask you that, and I appreciate the answer.
So real quick, I just wanted to make sure you understand that the design that we're proposing to do, which I know that everyone wants to see this exact type of building, which we intend to do, obviously, we're giving you that apartment, multifamily, hotel look, office building look, but it's a climate-controlled self-storage facility. It's very low impact on traffic. If it was a hotel, we'd need that entire parking lot as we have it now for parking for the hotel, okay? And the brands that you would get on that exit would be very competitive to the brands that are already, to that hotel, if we were to do one, would be competitive to the brands on the exit. So this is a win-win, because now you're getting retail in the front, and we're looking to get that sports bar over there on the right side of the property, storage facility that doesn't even look like a storage facility, and it's going to create a positive impact for neighboring properties and businesses in the area as well.
I will just add what I've heard from community members, coupled with some of their presentation before, but part of it, from my understanding, is an economic, plan, and storage helps sustain the rest of the parcel as well. So most of the feedback that I heard, and I think Councilor Almond heard, was fairly favorable, given that it looks like this, that it's a vast improvement from what it is currently, and that it remain kind of as it was just proffered to look and appear and function in that way. So.
And I'll just add that, what I'm actually excited about is that the building's gonna come down. And so, if we get that happening, it's a win.
And you guys have already had somebody out there cutting hedges and shrubs down, it looked like?
Yeah, and we've got some more coming. So
Okay, yeah. So, I think most of our ward is happy to see some progress moving forward with things.
They did have folks at the planning commission come speak in favor, the people in the neighborhood came speak in favor, so. Any other questions? Councilor Sims?
Just a quick question for the storage units. What are your plans for access? If someone rents a unit, what's their access to the facility? Is it 24/7? What will access be?
6 a.m. to 10 p.m., and that's an industry average time for a climate-controlled, full interior climate-controlled self-storage facility.
Could you also talk about the floor
That's
access?
Yeah,
and
so another thing that we want to make sure everybody understands, obviously, if you have a hotel there, any customer can access any floor on anywhere on the property. With the way we have it set up, if you have a space on the second floor, you can only access your space on the second floor. You can't have access to the third floor, you can't have access to first floor, and you can only access it during operating hours. Okay, so if you come in at, let's say we close at 10 o'clock and you come in at 10:30, you won't even be able to get inside the building. And, if you have a space on the first floor, you can't access second and third. The fire exits are set up to where once you walk out in the fire exit, you can only walk all the way down. You can't walk into another floor from there or anything like that, so it's very secure.
Can I ask one more question? Part of what you're gonna send me will be a site plan showing the ingress, egress, all those things?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
talking about off of the streets. How you're gonna access your.
Right.
Yeah, whatever that access to the public road.
You
Get that to you.
Yeah, you don't want to send us an email with all that, what you need.
I'll give you a call.
Okay. Any other questions?
But you can send it to me and I
Yeah,
can
send
send
it
it.
to
Oh,
me.
gotcha.
The
Okay.
card that I gave you and I can forward it. to
Sure.
you.
Okay.
And I'll make sure he gets it for overhead too, so I can disseminate it to
Okay,
everybody that needs it.
that works.
Monday night, or whenever public hearing is.
Okay, we have no other questions, then I would entertain a motion to send out without recommendation pending the public hearing.
We gotta set the public.
You still
Oh,
gotta
I'm
set
sorry, I
the
thought we
public-
already said it, I'm sorry, sorry. Go
First
ahead.
time you can have it legally is the 24th of May.
Okay,
So what I would suggest you do is that you set it for a public hearing for May 24th, contingent upon y'all getting the information so that we can do it Monday night. Because if for whatever reason, and I'm not saying it would be anything bad, but if you can't get it to them Monday night, then we just have to wait till the next meeting, which then puts everything off. So
so the motion is to set the public hearing for May 24th, and then the next committee, it goes out without recommendation?
Correct.
Okay, so I need a motion to set the public hearing for May 24th.
contingent upon,
Contingent upon receiving the development plan and renderings and egress and ingress plans.
They were thinking, we were thinking it was gonna be on the 10th.
Can't be. We hadn't set the public hearing.
We haven't said it.
You gotta publish it twice and wait 15 days.
We didn't set it, in the council meeting, we just sent it here.
And that's the earliest date that you can legally do it.
I thought we had two, Vicky.
Twice a week.
So moved.
So I have a motion from Counselor Gwaltney to set the public hearing for May 24th, contingent on receiving development plan renderings and egress and ingress. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Counselor Nelms. There we go. That's what I
Who's
thought. Gwaltney Nelms. Gwaltney Nelms.
And then then you want this left here too, so that y'all can, at the next.
Yes,
meeting,
please.
sit
Thank
down.
you. That's right. Yes, please. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes 5-0. Thank you. Okay, if you'll get that information to Melody and Mike.
If you'll just send out, I'll make sure he gets it, we'll see what we need, we send out a public hearing, and eventually he's gonna need that back there for the public hearing.
Sure,
So if you just get it to me, I'll get it to everybody else.
Awesome, thank you.
But we've already set 0504, the next item, we've already set the public hearing for, thank you, okay. Okay, next item, 050421, public hearing set for May 10th, 2021 at 6 for consideration to rezone 2 small strips of land resulting from 1 resurvey. Request to rezone a strip of land at 316 Starrett Avenue to be added to 320 Starrett Avenue from a PR1 planned residential to an NPD neighborhood preservation district, and to rezone a strip of land at 320 Starrett Avenue to be added at 316 Starrett Avenue from NPD to PR1. Applicant is Ronald Van Erve, owners, and Charles Williams. The Planning Commission had a vote of 9-0 for a favorable recommendation of this rezone. Vicki Smith, zoning supervisor. And again, Brian, I have, if y'all need drawings, I have that in my packet if you need that.
It's really just a little land swap on the north end of the 2 lots. Mr. Williams on the right is giving Mr. Van Erve on the left some of his property, and then on the south end of the property, the common property line, Mr. Van Erve is giving Mr. Williams a portion of his. It would have been just a simple lot line adjustment had it not been they were zoned separately, distinctly different. So the part that's going into the NPD is going to have to be rezoned, and the part that's coming from the PR1 has to be rezoned to NPD so that they can resurvey those in together.
And we have resurveyed, we did resurvey, approved that at the planning commission level, so that has been done. The concern, I'll just let everyone know that there was some confusion from the neighborhood. The neighbors showed up against the rezoning, but they thought that they were trying to open up access to Berry, the cul-de-sac behind there, which we are not. Nothing's changing, and Mr. Van Erve proffered to keep his gate at 3 feet.
As did Mr. Williams. Both of them
Yeah.
agreed that there would be no additional access.
Right.
There is a little 3-foot gate to Berry, but it's been there for some time, and they've both agreed not to add or enlarge that opening.
So these proffers need to come to me when I publish this ordinance.
Well, I'm sorry, I did tell our
We've already filled this
tech,
out.
Yeah, those are.
yeah,
So what is the proffer here? No
That-
access, no additional access, what?
no additional access to Berry Avenue.
That was the concern of the neighborhood, was
That
that
was
they were
what
trying
the real
to
concern was.
open up.
I mean, that's fine, we just,
I told the person that was relaying it,
well, they're not working.
obviously, that it was important that the proffers be a part of it.
Counselor Gwaltney.
I personally would like to see a diagram of
Okay.
the land swap. Maybe
Hey-
it's simple and straightforward, but I
Can I
still would
make
like to see it.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, go ahead,
working on
The
it.
Counselor
diagram
Jones.
is really confusing.
Was it BZA?
I like to be able to read.
Brian.
It was on the planning commission.
Planning commission, yeah.
Yeah, April
Was that-
6th,
it
Planning
was the
Commission.
same one? Okay, hang on.
Yeah, same
Same
one.
packet, page 47.
Counselor Jones.
Okay. It will not make sense to you unless you see a rendering. Okay. But it's, once you see it, it will immediately make sense. You've got one property that's PR1 and the other property's NPD, and they're just swapping parcels in there so they can use land for if the guy needs a pool. And so it would have been an easy, change the line.
Yeah,
But because there are 2 different zoning classifications, we had to go through all this, and I've had 10 people call me, because it's around my house, who want to know what in the world this means. And when I first read it, I said, I don't know. And they said, well, had you been on the council a long time? I said, yes, ma'am, I've been on the council a long time.
Is that
I don't
it?
understand this, but
That's
once-
it, but that
once
doesn't
Ms.
show
Vicky showed this
the
to me-
pieces being swapped. There's a diagram in there that shows, that's existing, those red lines now. There's one diagram that shows the go two further.
And just a little history that I thought was interesting, that
Almost-
development that's on Oxford Circle, when it was built, was zone PR1. And that particular property, even though it's facing Starrett, was part of that zoning, even though it was never part of that development, right?
Right,
So,
right.
but it was, that zoning stuck with it, yeah.
And I think that was a lot of the concern was, well, why can't they just do that? Why are we rezoning it? Because they thought it was gonna be rezoned for another use.
Right.
And it's just because they're two totally different. We can't combine them unless they're of the same.
Yeah, one lot has to be the same zone.
Right.
Were you able to find that, Brian, or the one?
I'm having a few technical difficulties. Hang
Okay.
on just a second, sorry.
Okay. Andy, send my
Yeah,
packet, if you want to
that
get that
nor-
packet again.
That northern one is hit,
That's
Mr.
back there.
320's retaining wall, or a wall, I don't know if it's a retaining wall, is actually on Mr. Williams' property, and that's that 4-foot offset at the north end.
Yeah, that's where his pool is.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen right now, just, guess move on for right now.
Okay.
You want me to send this back?
Okay, yeah, if you'll send that, can you send that around, Nick, so everyone can see that?
I went and took a picture, so I'll show you. Oh, I saw it. Oh, you did? Oh, good.
Okay, you understand? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Can you see it?
Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion to send out without recommendation, because the public hearing has already been set. So therefore, all I need is a recommendation, send out without recommendation.
Motion.
From Counselor Alman?
No.
No. Who? Who? Oh, Counselor Wolverton.
I've been trying all night and you're only hearing those two.
All right.
Second.
Sorry. Wolverton.
Second.
Second from Sims. Wolverton Sims. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes 5-0. And anything else? Otherwise, we're adjourned. Thank you, Vicki.